Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, and I am pitching the third in a triple hitter today. I'm not sure how that happened. Usually I only schedule 2 podcasts per day at most, but today I had more than that, and 3 of them actually got done. And today I have with me Micah Kalisch, founder and CEO at Chrp Technologies. Chirp like a bird chirps, and it's spelled without the vowel, Chrp Technologies. So Micah, first of all, thank you for joining me today. How's it going?
I appreciate it, Tony. Thanks for having me on. Everything
Awesome,
is going well?
Fantastic. And according to LinkedIn, you are in Orange City, Florida.
That's correct.
Which side of Florida is that?
We're Central Florida based, so we're just north of Orlando.
Orlando. Okay, perfect. You have Disney season tickets?
I don't. I try to stay away from the touristy areas, and this continues to keep my days busy.
Okay, gotcha. So it's June in Orlando, so it's probably already hot, but not like deadly August weather yet.
It's not quite August. It's hot. It's a little wet, and as usual, we're always watching the Atlantic. So, the days are always interesting.
Yep. No kidding on that. So Micah, we always give the guest a chance to give the elevator pitch. What is Chrp Technologies?
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you giving me the chance. Chrp, as you said, CHRP. It is complete home risk prevention. Chrp is an Insurtech app that is built for underwriters and insurance carriers to mitigate risks on the front end of the underwriting process. So we provide self-inspections for new insureds and at renewal as well. And we take photos of the interior of the home. We run it through our proprietary ML and AI models. We do an evaluation of the home and essentially spit out a result that will help streamline the underwriting process.
Okay. So your client is the underwriting company, the carrier.
So we work directly with the carriers.
Okay, but the user, the user of the data are underwriters, but the user of the front end is the policyholder or prospective policyholder.
Correct.
So your UI has to be consumer perfect. It has to be beautiful.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So how do we so let's say I'm a carrier. Okay, let's say I'm a property carrier, right? Florida Peninsula or whatever. Like just to come up with one kind of in your neck of the woods. One of my very good friends led their underwriting for a long time, so they came to mind. So I'm a small to medium sized carrier. I would love to have this kind of data, but I am nervous on asking in a very competitive market, asking my potential policyholders to go through the trouble. How do we convince them? You get what I'm saying? Like if another carrier will do it without you using an app to get photos of your place, tell me a little bit on that side.
Of course. So one of the things that I think has changed a lot in the industry over the last few years is that everyone is starting to focus on loss prevention. Inspections are becoming essentially the norm. And I think after COVID, we really hit a point where people are more comfortable doing their own inspections than they are having the traditional inspector come out to their home. And so it's things like that have really continued to help build up this product. It's also just very becoming a way of life when it comes to southeastern carriers, just because of the way the industry is. As you know, Florida's in rough shape. We cry a little bit every time we see another carrier go down, but we're here to try to help mitigate those losses and also improve the process, not only on the insurance carrier side, but also for the insurance.
Okay. So what does the app look like for the policyholder?
So
what
we
is the
have
process like?
a progressive web app. So in this case, you don't have to download anything to your phone. There is an email that comes out from your carrier once your policy is bound, has a link and opens up a very streamlined and very easy to use web application. Essentially, it will walk through the basics of your home details, guide you through an entire photo section, and once those are uploaded, you're pretty much set. Takes the average person probably 30 to 40 minutes to walk through a home, and that's all you have to do. After that, my side takes over. We go through, analyze everything, and then we'll send those results back to the carrier as well as your agent and the insured if they would like a copy.
Okay, so I'm a former underwriter. I did small commercial farm first, and then I did middle market. So in small commercial farm, a lot of homes, a lot of large farmhouses, and we only sent inspection. And back in that day, it used to be, I think we sent Castle, but basically like I don't know, several hundred books, and a human would go on a scheduled time and take pictures of the home, and yeah, it's kind of invasive, and this was before COVID, and we only did it on homes worth over $1 million. So most homes got written based on like dimensions and like the agent's description of like with the information that the agent put on the rater kind of thing.
Right.
But who knows how accurate that is, right? And no assessment on like the quality of the roof, which is such a big deal in the South. So going from that, getting maybe getting a report at all on maybe 15% of all the homes we were looking at or were insuring, to getting 100%, and that would take weeks because you have to schedule a human to go. Getting it right away would be really, really amazing. Okay, so the policyholder does that. What does the underwriter get?
So the underwriter gets an analyzed report that comes out of the system. They also have access to the entire platform online, so they can work with the reports live as they come through. As you said, compared to having a person go out to your home, they have to go out, take the pictures. They go home at night, they work through the report, put in their recommendations, and then send it off to the underwriter. With this system, everything runs as soon as it's submitted. The AI models run constantly, so instead of waiting 24 to 48 hours for a completed report, this one can be done in about 10 minutes.
Perfect. Okay. I always like to ask about integration. How does it integrate into my underwriting system? But I'm guessing that for this, one option is just getting it in PDF.
So we have a few options that are set up. One, everything is exposed via API, so it can be all downloaded directly into your policy admin system. We have plugins with Guidewire that are set up, and plans for expansion with some other larger platforms. And then there's also the main dashboard that can be worked with. So instead of working through a normal PDF, if you would like, you can log into the platform and get access to full resolution photos. As you know, when a PDF comes through, everything gets shrunk down, and you're sitting there with a magnifying glass at your underwriting desk trying to figure out what you actually see in this photo. With these, cameras are amazing these days, and it feels wrong to compress all those all the way down and lose the quality that you have when you really need to be able to see what's going on inside of a home. So we keep all those preserved and have those available for underwriters at any time they need them.
Okay. What's the pricing model like? Is it per inspection? Is it per bound policy? Per underwriter head?
It is. So we do it on a transaction based. So any completed inspection is what gets charged for, rather than doing it on a pre-bind status. You always want to give underwriting a chance to take a look at things, make sure they are content with the policy, make sure the agent wrote everything correctly, and then pass that on through. And so we generally give people a couple days, and then once they are content with the policy, they'll pass it on over to us. We'll run through. We try to keep a fairly low cost inspection for everyone. We know that everyone's running at tight margins, and so we try to keep that well below what it would normally cost to send somebody out.
Okay. Um, so, according to your LinkedIn, you've been running Chirp for going on 3 years. So basically since October 2020, 2.5 years. So I always like to ask about any customer success stories. I don't know how many carriers you're deployed with. It could be that it's just a couple. But if you can share any customer success stories, and if you can share the name, that's fantastic. If not, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, any customer success stories, we always love to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you said, officially, Chirp has been running for 2.5 years now. What has happened behind the scenes is, my career in insurance has been relatively short, about 6 years. As you can see, my background was construction before that. And so I started working with an insurance carrier in the Lake Mary area called Frontline Insurance, and helped them develop an early version of this program, which is an inspection, analysis, and underwriting recommendations program. Over the past 4 years, they've taken their loss ratio and almost cut it in half. Just by going through and analyzing from a construction standpoint over to what really matters when you go through claims and you go through looking at what really causes losses, being able to make those recommendations to underwriters who aren't necessarily as experienced as someone who's spent a lot of time in the field. They've also cut their loss frequency almost in half. I want to say that overall their water loss ratio is, we'll say, in the teens, which is very good for the state of Florida.
That is freaking amazing. When 11 carriers went out of business in Florida last year, to have your loss ratio fall in half and your loss frequency cut, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So basically, after doing that for them, you figured things showed the road.
Things. Exactly. So it was time to scale things, and it was also time to share with the rest of the state and the rest of the industry. I really believe in what we do and how we approach the differences in underwriting. As you very well know, underwriting is a slow monster to change. They're very, very set in their ways when it comes to things, and so I think by bringing in a few new ideas, a few new perspectives, we're able to really start profiling risks differently than most carriers would actually look at them. One thing that we'd love to be able to say is, when people think of a good risk, they're thinking of something in the first 5 years, right? A new construction, 5-year-old home, that's your great risk. I've been able to prove with this program and then with data through Chirp that realistically, everything that you go through and look at is almost on a level playing field. We have data that will show that at about year 6, losses start to happen and drastically increase throughout the first 12 years of the home. You figure cars made about 10 years, computers even less. You think of all the general hardware, your appliances in your home, nothing really lasts the 30 years that most insurance companies think of when they think of, this is where I need to start inspecting a home. So if you can take that data, back up a little bit, and start working through the middle of your book, there's a substantial amount of savings that can be found there.
Fantastic. So, according to LinkedIn, your degree is in aerospace engineering. So how do you go from aerospace to construction and then to insurance?
That's a great question. Coming out of school, I decided I never wanted to sit behind a desk. I went to flight school, flew commercially, and then corporate jets for a long time. Kind of got burnt out doing that, being on the road nonstop, and wanted something a little bit more stable. So I grew up doing construction, kind of took a break off for that whole section of my life, and kind of went back to to doing a lot of residential and commercial construction.
You're still instrument rated?
I still am.
And still commercial or just keeping your instrument?
Yep.
Oh, you still have your commercial.
Everything is all current, and we'll go do a bunch of flying every year, but I do it more for fun now.
Okay.
And, I'm able to focus on this a little more and continue to build.
Okay. What so now that you're flying for fun, having flown a corporate jet, it has to be hard to fly like a Skyhawk. Like it has to be boring to fly a Skyhawk.
It's a little bit, but it's a little more work. You know, the jets, you hit 200 feet, you push the autopilot button and sit back and wait. You know, flying smaller planes, there's always something to do.
Okay. What equipment were you on as a corporate pilot?
I was flying mid-size Citations and then into a couple Challengers.
Awesome.
So, yep.
So truly just beautiful airplanes. Okay.
Very much so.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Very cool. I'm a bit of an aviation nerd, so
Okay,
keep flirting with the idea of getting my private pilots and my instruments, but I haven't.
You should.
Yeah.
It's very
so anyway.
easy.
Well, yeah, you were an aerospace engineer. Like coming from the engineering side, like actually flying the things, it's not hard. Okay, so as you went off on your own with Chrp, did you go through one of the accelerators? Did you go through a global insurance accelerator or a broker tech or plug and play or?
No, we so I've got a couple partners who have joined in, who have been in the industry. We kind of just put our heads down, bootstrapped it, and swung for the fences. We believe in the product a lot and believe in the results, and so I think it was one of those things we were willing to take the risk and really swing for the fences on this one.
Okay, fantastic. So spring conference season is basically over as we record on June 21st. So for fall conference season, will you guys be at Insurtech Connect? What are you planning to? Where might a client be run into you in person?
So right now we will be at NAMIC in September.
NAMIC annual.
Yep.
Where is it this year?
That is in Maryland. This year.
Okay, cool.
So we will be speaking there. We will also be speaking at PIR, Risk Information, out in California, and then more than likely we'll be in attendance at ITC, but we'll probably just be walking around looking to meet people.
Yep. Awesome, fantastic. I will definitely see you there. I'm pretty easy to find. I'll be wearing my black top hat and my red jacket.
Outstanding. There we go.
And I will. Probably be doing interviews with people and very sleep deprived and doing magic for people. So when you see me, say hi and remind me that we recorded a podcast. I probably, when you tell me Chrp, I'll remember Chrp. But recognizing your face in person, especially when I'm sleep deprived, that's questionable. So thank you so much for your time. When this goes live, I will tag both you and the company. And since you guys are fairly early on, I very much look forward to having you back on the show in a year or two as things get scaled up, because this sounds very cool. Are there any, I should have asked this before kind of the outro, but are there any features that are coming down the pipe that you can already talk about? And I understand if you can't yet talk about.
So right now we are working on we have a basic guidewire accelerator that's built out. We're working on a full integration right now that will be plugged into their system and will allow direct APIs call back and forth between systems. So your underwriters essentially never have to leave your policy admin system.
Beautiful.
We will probably be working on a couple others. I won't tell you the names of them, but I'm sure you can guess who the other large carrier platforms are. And then we're going to be probably releasing a commercial product beginning of next year for geared more towards some commercial inspections.
Okay. A small commercial, or will you go all the way to like middle market stuff?
So we'll probably start with small commercial and more geared towards business owners who want to continue to keep up on their businesses. And as you know, when you ask for commercial inspections, especially for business owners not there a lot of the times, so they have to make an extra trip down to be able to photograph the inside their place of business. So we're gonna try to make something a little bit easier for that, and then also be able to kind of gear some of that data that most companies don't necessarily catalog. Your fire hazard data, and be able to tie that stuff into your policy admin system on an annual basis.
Exciting. Awesome. Looking forward to that coming out. Thank you for your time today, and like I said, see you at ITC, and I like it. I like it what you guys are doing. There's definitely a need for it in our industry. So thank you for jumping on this one.
Oh, Tony, thanks for having me on, and yeah, hopefully we'll continue to keep in touch. And as this grows, we'll definitely keep you in the loop and keep pushing forward.
Fantastic.